Now, recently, Twitter has banned two of the biggest stars of the resistance for apparently breaking the rules. Now, last night, the accounts of Brian and Ed Krassin, not to be confused with Klippenstein, were banned from Twitter for life. Now, the Daily Beast wrote that the pair had broken the site's rules about operating fake bot accounts and purchasing fake interactions with their accounts. Oh, now that's fascinating. Now, those of you who are on Twitter, you guys know who the Krassin Teens are. Those of you not on Twitter, I'm going to basically explain. They are two very, very big, I would say, grifters, but they're big, basically internet celebrities when it comes to Twitter. So there's some of the first top replies whenever Trump tweets out something dumb. And so a lot of people take a lot of stock in what these people say. Now, let me go to the Daily Beast here. They explain that fake interactions could involve buying bots to retweet their posts or buying fake followers to inflate their profiles on that site. Now, a Twitter spokesperson said in a statement after the banning, quote, "The Twitter rules apply to everyone." And they said specifically, operating multiple fake accounts and purchasing account interactions are strictly prohibited. Engaging in these behaviors will result in permanent suspension from the service, and apparently that's what happened. Now, Will Sommer, writing for the Daily Beast, also adds, the suspensions are a major loss for the Krassin Teens, who would use their massive Twitter followers and ability to quickly respond to tweets from Donald Trump to make themselves internet celebrities. Ed Krassin had roughly 925,000 followers before he was banned, while Brian had more than 697,000. Now, as I said, they are heroes of the resistance, or at least are considered heroes of the resistance. But in reality, as I'm going to show you, they're actually more like internet grifters. This is somebody like Jacob Wall on the right side, and Michael Avenatti, someone who was another resistance hero that was supposedly on the left. Now, as Matt Taibbi writes for the Rolling Stone, their Twitter ban comes just 3 years after their home was raided by federal agents. So I had never heard about that. Now, the Krassin Teens didn't actually get in trouble for this, but what happened is that this was about 2 years after a forfeiture complaint made public the Krassin Teens' 13-year history of owning and operating sites pushing Ponzi-like high-yield investment plans, or HYIPs. Authorities said the pair had generated tens of thousands of complaints by victims of these fraudulent high-yield investment plans. So you're literally running Ponzi schemes. So how do you go from Ponzi schemes to becoming internet resistance celebrities? The election of Donald Trump. Of course. Now, why does that matter? What does this have to do with that, right? With the alleged botting? Well, because in the era of Trump, everybody's trying to make a buck. Everybody's trying to be an internet celebrity. And one of the best ways is to either be vocally pro-Trump or vocally anti-Trump. That's kind of the path to stardom. Trust me, it helps. Now, of course, you guys know I don't like Trump personally, right? But more so, I actually hate the conditions that created Trump. And I don't treat Trump as the sole creator of the problem or the sole problem itself. And when you do that, when you do treat Trump as the major only problem, it actually does a disservice to us all because it doesn't actually look at the system. And in reality, it is the system that is broken. It is the system that allowed someone like Donald Trump to thrive. And it's the same system that perpetuates the rise of anti-Trump resistance grifters who take advantage of people without actually trying to fix that system to make everyone's lives better. Now, I actually want to fix the system so we never have another fake populist rise, so that we never have another Trump. If that means that the news becomes suddenly so boring that I lose views and retweets and followers and revenue, so be it. I don't care. I actually want a better country. I don't want to become a celebrity. I've never wanted to become a celebrity. I don't care. I just want a normal country, a functional country, and a functional government. That's it. Now, I want to go back to the Beast here. Now, Sommer writes, As heroes of the anti-Trump resistance, the Credence Teens had won admiration from liberals and anger from conservatives for their willingness to tweak Trump and his supporters online. Well, that is absolutely true. The Krassin brothers even turned their online fandom into a book featuring a shirtless, muscular special counsel Robert Mueller pursuing Trump. So, look, that's turning your internet stardom into cash. I understand that. I actually don't have an issue making money. At least making money off having, I guess, a following, right? You know what? I guess that's fine if people want to give you money, if you want to write a book, whatever, right? That Bernie Sanders wrote a book. It was wildly successful, and he became a millionaire. I don't have any problem with the acquisition of cash. But what I have a problem with is cheating in order to raise your own profile, right? Buying followers to amplify your message, that's clearly a problem. And not only that, but I also have a problem with not promoting or proposing any sort of solutions to some of these issues, right? Now, again, we all know Trump is bad, right? Orange man bad, right? Okay, fine. How do you fix the system? How do you stop it? And how do you stop the system from creating another Trump? That's what I'm interested in. I'm actually interested in solutions, right? There are no solutions coming from the Credence Teens of the world. Nothing. It's just Trump bad. I'm going to tweak the followers. I'm going to make him look stupid or whatever. Yeah, okay, whatever. That's fun, but ultimately, what does it accomplish? What does it accomplish to really tweak Trump? Again, it's fun to do. I do it. But that's not a solution. Now, earlier, I also mentioned Jacob Wall. And the reason I mentioned Jacob Wall is because of something Taibbi mentioned in his article. Quote, after their Twitter ban this week, the Credence Teens were contacted by Jacob Wall, who reportedly proposed that they all band together to fight Twitter and internet censorship. Now, look, to be fair, I don't know if the Credence Teens took in that offer, right? I don't know. But what's interesting is, of course, Wall wants to get back on the grift, right? And it's actually really amazing to me that he hasn't been arrested for his hijinks. And I've covered some of those before. He literally created and faked death threats on himself and then reported that to police. That's ridiculous. That would get most people arrested. But when you have right-wing privilege, well, then I guess you can do whatever you want. Now, to also be fair, the Credence Teens denied the charges of botting. They said they only operated secondary accounts to monitor death threats, which I'm sure they got plenty, as well as accounts for their businesses. Well, look, if that's true, then that's legitimate, right? None of the accounts, they said, were ever used for manipulative purposes, as Twitter claims. Now, look, I have a secondary account for the show, so I understand, right? And sometimes I will use that account to retweet myself. Is that bot account? I also let somebody else run it too. Christina, which, by the way, Christina's awesome. Thank you for running that account. Super cool. Anyway, that's fine. But when it comes to setting up a bot network, that's not fine. And do you know who else in Resistance Twitter was caught botting? Sally Albright. Now, look, for those of you not familiar with Sally Albright, she is a Democratic consultant who backed Hillary Clinton and hated Bernie Sanders. And she still hates Bernie Sanders. She still tweets against him. Whatever, you can have your opinion, right? The problem with her is that, look, last year it was reported by a HuffPost investigation to have been running a network of fake accounts in order to boost her profile online. Well, that's fascinating. Very, very interesting. I wonder if she'll be next. My guess, maybe. That would be assuming that Twitter is consistent and goes after everyone we know who buys fake followers or uses fake followers and does fake interactions in order to raise their own profile. I don't know. But what would be interesting is what we think that there is somebody who's pretty big on Twitter that also might have a lot of bots and fake followers. He might be the president of the United States. So would Twitter actually go after the president if they found him to have fake followers or bots? Which, look, again, I've talked about some of the studies where up to 60% of Trump's followers might be bots, or at least exhibit bot-like behavior. I don't know. We'll have to see. Now, finally, again, somewhat related to Wall, wanting to work with the Credence Teens to fight censorship online, which is what they're calling this. Well, look, for one, let me be honest. I'm against censorship, right? Now, you had a prominent alt-writer, Jack Posobiec, actually backing the Credence Teens. Now, he said, look, I don't agree with them, but I think this is a free speech issue, so you should bring them back and not actually ban them on Twitter. Now, that's, again, the alt-right position. So far, he is the only right-wing free speech warrior to have actually went on the side of the Credence Teens. So I guess I want to give him credit, even though he's 100% wrong. Because at the end of the day, this is not a free speech issue. And I'm actually really tired of the argument. And here's why. It's not a free speech issue because it doesn't involve the government. Twitter is a private corporation. Facebook is a private corporation. And private corporations do not have to guarantee free speech on their platforms. Now, I wish they did. I really wish they did. But ironically, and this is probably going to blow Jack's mind, if he's ever listening to this or he ever gets wind of this, you know what we could do? We could guarantee free speech online. But we need a little bit of good old-fashioned socialism. Let me explain how this would work. If you were to take Twitter and perhaps regulate it like a public utility, well, then you could use the government power to ensure free speech protections for users. Or if you really want to go radical, you could nationalize some of these platforms, Facebook and Twitter. That would have the effect of extending free speech protections to Twitter users because it would be controlled by the government. And the government could say, well, now you have free speech protections because this is a government-run utility. Has your head exploded yet? Maybe. Now, the only limit to that, of course, would be the same limit we already have on free speech. And, your free speech does not include incitement to violence and direct threats. That is where free speech ends. And that's fine, right? But unless that happens, or some sort of government rule or intervention to guarantee people's free speech and right to free expression on these platforms, these corporations will control access to that platform. And there will be no free speech protections, meaning they can ban whoever they want. Now, I am in favor of free speech, so I'm actually in favor of doing something to change the nature of social media because it is a cultural phenomenon. It is a way to reach massive amounts of people, both Facebook and Twitter or Instagram and whatever. These social media platforms are actually really important, especially when it comes to the realm of politics and political organization. So I'm in favor of those protections. I'm in favor of something different, right? But see, you have to understand if you want to do something about it and protect free speech, you've got to know what you're dealing with. And a lot of people, unfortunately, don't. And we've got to know what we're doing so that we can craft the right kind of solutions. Now, as far as the Credence Teens are concerned, well, they knew the rules under a private corporation. And if it's true that they were botting, then sorry, you get what you deserve. And I don't feel bad for you at all. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com patreon.com/TYT Nation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.